Just like that, we are
Boom.
on. It is Breeders' Cup Championship weekend. Great to be with you here on Talking Horses. I'm filling in for Andy Serling, Greg Wolf, Anthony Stabile. So exciting. It feels like the Headless Horseman's out there. It's like the Legend of Sleepy Hollow
It's like
today.
a week late, right, this weather? I don't remember it being – it was Sal and Travis, our cameramen here, who were braving the fog with us today, Greg. Of course, Andrew from AV, my main man. We don't remember the fog being here this early in the morning. Ordinarily, it rolls in a little bit later on, but a little after 10 o'clock. Some people are still eating their cereal, having a little breakfast. And the fog's here. Hopefully it lifts. It's supposed to be a nice day. It's supposed to be like 73 degrees here in South Ozone Park today. The official start of the Aqueduct meet. Happy Aqueduct, everyone, even though we've been here for 7 weeks. But yeah,
we
Breeders'
start
Cup
anew.
Friday, Future Stars Friday.
Race you're most looking forward to championship weekend?
Wow.
Maybe matchup-wise.
That's a great question. I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing Flightline. You're talking to the biggest East Coast bias guy in the history of East Coast bias, but he's one of the best horses I've ever seen, so I'm looking forward to that. One of my favorite horses in training is Casa Creed from my man Lee Einsiedler, so I'm looking forward to that. Nest.
This stat for me, Ness,
Yeah.
Malathot, Clarier, search results.
I got a little bit of
Even
an interest.
Society.
We're going to go through the promos in a little bit, but I actually have there's 3 blogs up. One about the Breeders' Cup in general. There's a must-bet race of the week for the Classic, and then 5 of the races over the next 2 days that I'm going to kind of focus in on a little bit for one reason or another. Some crossroads race, like tomorrow, the 7th race. The sprint is the end of the early pick 5, start of the late pick 5. So thankfully, I have a good opinion in there. I think I have a good opinion in there anyway. But yeah. Just looking forward to the whole weekend. Really looking forward to seeing if Flightline is as good as we all think he is, and maybe even better. And I don't know if he can improve off of his last 2 efforts. That Met Mile was something, and of course the Pacific Classic was
one of the great races run in the last
legendary.
probably 20 years.
I mean, yeah. When you know, I'm not one of these people that like to throw the word great around, legendary around. I mean, but this horse in 5 starts has done things that you just don't see horses do.
Yep. It's going to be a tremendous weekend, and we're excited to get this meet going here at Aqueduct as well. Let's get through the business first. You get signed up, great time to do it.
Lots of great promotions this weekend. Seriously, if you don't have a NYRA account, now is the time to go and get one.
Yeah, I was going through them all last night, actually, on the train home. There's a lot of ways you can pad your account. First of all, you got to get signed up and started. You get that $25 free play if you're a new member, plus that $200 deposit match sign up. Cup 25, the promo to use.
Yeah, so just go. Plain and simple, Cup 25 will deposit match up to $200 as well as your initial deposit.
If you want an extra $40 in your account, just by playing Aqueduct and Keeneland today.
Yep, $200 at each track, $40, win or lose. So hopefully you can take that churn, basically 10%. Head over to NYRABets.com.
Opt in. Yeah, just go to the opt-in page. Opt in on everything.
Just bang everything out at once. That's what I do. And you could do it all for the weekend now. This is fun. You got to opt into this too, Greg. So if Cave Rock wins, and I believe he's 4-5 on the morning line. I'm old school when it comes to Breeders' Cup still, even though I didn't have to do as much prep work as I used to do. I have the lifetime PPs that come out with the pre-entries, and then I dope them up like that. So I don't have the morning line in front of me. I think he's 4-5. You double the win bet payout on Cave Rock if he wins, up to $20. So again, opt in, like Greg said. Just go to the page.
Today?
Opt in. I was trying to beat him. I think the only horse that can beat him is Forte. We'll talk about more about that on America's Day at the Races later on today, as you and I will kick things off. He's tough. He's just faster than those horses on paper, on the racetrack, and early. I mean, there's no other speed in the race with him. So he's real. I think he's going to be really tough today.
Stablemate, I think, maybe can give him some problems again. He's been training lights out. Word is that he's just turned the corner and become a different horse lately. We'll see. But yeah, Cave Rock, no question, the horse to beat in that juvenile.
We're gonna have that same promotion tomorrow. Double the win bet on Flightline. So there's no talking horses tomorrow. Keep that in mind. Greg and Acacia will be back on Sunday, but there will be a double the win bet on Flightline tomorrow for the Breeders' Cup. There it is. There it is. Again, opt in. Like Greg said, just go opt into everything right away.
Yeah, get it done, get it out of the way, and obviously get signed up and started. And good luck, everybody, in these Breeders' Cup races. But we got a good, it's always good to play in Aqueduct or all these other tracks too, because so much focus is elsewhere, and you can have some good scores. I like this card today.
And speaking of Aqueduct, boom.
11:30 a.m. start time, FS2. We will see you then.
What are we on?
go till 5:30.
You and I are on until 2:30 together?
Something like that.
Yeah. First half, and then Lafitte and Mig taking over, I believe.
Yes.
There you go.
You ready to do it?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's get started. The first on this opening day of this Aqueduct meet here begins 1-turn mile, maiden special weight. We have quite a few first-timers in this race. And, I saw the stats with Bill Mott with Accidental Icon. And I would argue that probably nobody has good stats going long with 2-year-old first-time starters, especially on dirt, because it's just not easy to do.
It's not.
Having said that, I think Accidental Icon, I wound up going with. I like this horse quite a bit.
He's the pedigree horse.
Scat Daddy, half to Scat Daddy, who was a first-out winner, multiple Grade 1 winner, of course, including the Florida Derby. Half to Grade 3 winner, Antipathy. Also, the dam also produced a first-out winner named Granddaddy. The dam produced 3 first-out winners.
Love Struck. Most recent foal. She's okay. You know what's funny, Greg? Antipathy was in one of the most loaded, the Ogden Phipps in 2014.
Close hatches.
Close hatches beat Princess of Silmar, Beholder, and Bella Galante. They all came back to win Grade 1s after that Phipps. All of them.
Serious Grade 1.
I mean, what a one of the most loaded races I've ever seen. Close hatches got the money that day, by the way. Bill Macho El Rosario. That was a good day for the Big A. Yeah, he's the pedigree horse, and she's the pedigree horse in here. Mott, I don't have the stats for this, but if you play the circuit, you know that Mott's fillies, filly firsters, ordinarily run better than the Colts. So we'll see if that's the case in here. I gave her a long look. Ultimately, because it's a mile, I went with the 7 Fireline in here. Arrogate out of High Ridge Road was a nice mare for Chad. This filly didn't take a ton of money first time out. She was 7-2.
We have the race, too.
We do. Okay. And she ran in the slop first time out. It was a sloppy sealed track a little over a month ago here at Aqueduct. You see her, she doesn't break all that alertly in the Juddmonte green and pink.
That was the main reason we wanted to show this. Just a 4-start and just a huge edge. Having a start under your belt, getting it out of the way.
Yeah, only her and the 3 Avant have faced a starter so far in their careers. And you'll see here she's kind of moving into contention a little bit. About 4 or 5 lengths off the lead in the back. She's easy to spot the gray. But once she lost her position early on a track like this, she was going to have a tough time of it. Now she gets a fast track. She gets a mile. I mean, she's bred to run all day. And you would imagine that this 1-turn mile with the race under her belt, she gets Hall of Famer Javier Castellano, who's had a heck of a year. I think she makes a lot of sense. But if you want to side with a first one here like you did with Accidental Icon, I thought the 1 Guns and Graces for Chad, the other Chad in here, was a little interesting. Dam was 5 for 26. This is a gun runner. They all seem to be hitting the ground running. And a couple of decent 48 and change moves, 2 and 3 back on the work tab. I used her for second. But
yeah, look, it's another Chad Brown Grade 3 winner on synthetic, the dam, but also a stakes winner on dirt routing. Serena's Court, the 4, another first-time starter. That's Clement. Dam produced Coup de Gras, who's a multiple graded stakes winner, including the Grade 2 Amsterdam. Some interesting first-time starters in this race. Avant, though, who I didn't even use in my top 4. It's Todd Pletcher. Debuted on grass, now dirt coming up, and right now is favored very, very early on.
Old Claiborne mare as well. They let her out of the band, and the fact that her pedigree, she debuted on the turf, surprised me a little bit. I don't know if she can do anything on the dirt. We'll see.
All right, that is the opener, race 2. It's going to kick off the first pick 4 of this meet. 50,000 starter allowance, 6 furlong sprint, and we both agree here. Blinding Light, and we're going to see this race. Last time out was turf to dirt for Blinding Light. It was supposed to be on the grass. It was taken off. At a legitimate bump out of the break in here. I love the way that
bump
he
and
ran
shuffle
on
a little bit, yeah.
and
agreed.
had to wait on Digital Future a little bit into the stretch, shift around that horse, huge finish, and it was just such a dirty, dirty beat.
Yeah, got a good trip after the bump at the break, but horse lost some position, got into contention, made a lead, actually. I ordinarily hate betting on horses that make the lead, but like you said, this horse kind of didn't put Digital Future away, kind of had to wait on him, and then when he did, he took a filthy beat. Like you said, it's a tough beat. Horse coming back along the inside to get the job done. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to hold this head bob against Blinding Light. I also felt like there wasn't much else going on. If the gelding helps King James, this is a horse that I know they had some high hopes for early on in his career. They snuck him in for the tag back in September of last year. He got the job done, and he gets eligible for all these starter races for the next 2 calendar years. He went to the bench off a terrible effort, but now he comes back 10 months later, fresh gelding. Jose Gomez is aboard. You'd imagine he's going to come back fresh. There's not a ton of speed in this race.
Well, that's the thing. Go back to Blinding Light, that bump out of the gate. Look at the debut on dirt. I mean, this horse was in a 5.5 furlong sprint, the one on the lead. So this might be the quickest horse in the race.
Yeah, he got run down late in the game that day. I don't disagree. But I do wonder if King James, fresh gelding, sometimes when they come back from the gelding, part of the problem is they're pushing off and behind. And now I wonder with Jose Gomez aboard, the weight break, he'll be a little fresher. He's got that 47 work. He's got quite a few fast works on the tab. So I would not be surprised if he came back with some more speed. I almost picked against Blinding Light, but I liked his last race too much.
You see the 3 furlong bullet drill for King James last time out. That is clearly an intention to get this horse to show that speed.
No question about it.
Be forward, especially being fresh. So, yeah, that horse is going to go. I think I like Blinding Light a lot here. I think an interesting quarter, kind of X-Factor horse, Holy Matrimony.
Yeah.
That race was too slow to contend, but this horse has proved first 2 starts of his career, he's better than that. He went to the bench for a long time. Can he come back? 3.5-year layoff, and he wins the race.
I think we can excuse the 60 buyer off 3.5 years, right? Listen,
if he can improve and get back to a fraction of what he was, he's interesting in here.
Oh, man, could you imagine if he finds one of his first 2 races? Beat these horses by 10. But, it's hard to rely on him finding one of those 2 races. Last time he literally beat that field on memory. And he was clean. I was stunned he was clean. But, yeah, he can win. He can absolutely win.
When's the last time we saw a horse win off a 3.5-year layoff? Does not happen a lot.
And this time of year, you always think about the Haas, of course, with the 1 start between the 2 Breeders' Cup miles. One of the greatest training jobs, if not the greatest training job.
Trying to one-up that with domestic spending.
That would be
no starts.
No starts in a year in 15 months from the 14 hole. That would be up there.
Race 3 on the turf. It's on the outer turf, an allowance optional claiming field, 6 furlongs in this spot. You were going with Zelda, new face here in the States for Christophe Clement.
Yeah, I tried to make Aqueduct for Lolita Shivmangal, but I went to Zelda first time. This horse got rained off the turf last time. First time Lasix. Christophe brings this horse over. She gets to sprint. She tried some tough company. 2 starts back over. She was in the French Guineas over at Longchamp 2 starts back, and she cuts back to a sprint now. And I don't know. I just thought if she
get a length and a half in a Group 1.
That's what I'm saying. If she comes over and holds that form, she is not facing the toughest bunch she's going to find here in America. So I started with her, but I would not be surprised if Aqueduct. This race could very well go through the 1 Short Summer Dress here, Greg, because if Short Summer Dress comes out of there running, first off the Joe Lee claim with Eric Cancel now, no offense to Eric, but the fact that Eric's aboard kind of mitigates the chances that this horse is going to come out running. I wonder if Nick Juarez and Aqueduct can just be aggressive from the outside. And keep in mind, folks, we're doing this without scratches, so that's why you see the main track onlys in right now. We don't have the scratches yet. But yeah, if Aqueduct can get loose on him in here, maybe that's how Zelda gets beaten her U.S. debut.
Yeah,
you saw this race completely differently than I did.
Short Summer Dress has shown turf speed as well, in addition to dirt speed. I think the 1 and the 7 both are going to go at each other. I love Hit the Woe in here. Obviously, we don't know what we're going to. The import for Clement could be very, very good.
The other Clement.
Hit the Woe, though, we're going to show the start last time out, September 29th. And Keeper Time was in this race, too, was far back, was last early, and runs up the rail. And it's a tale of trips. Winds up finishing just ahead of Hit the Woe, who was 5-6 wide in here on the outside, the 5 in here. And I love the way she finishes up in this race. She's paired up races to her last 2 starts. She's primed to make a big move forward in here. Just misses second. And I don't know how you keep her a time in here over, for me personally, over Hit the Woe. You don't even have her in her top 4, by the way.
Keeper of the time?
Yeah.
Yeah, I felt like her lone win in the States came in an all-weather race going 2 turns down at Gulfstream Park. It was first time cutting back last time in a while. I don't love that race. I don't love the hit the wall race. And I find it funny that the figs paired because she could not have had things go better for her 2 starts back. Mail order broke slowly, rushed up, and it set up brilliantly for Hit the Woe, who just came running down the center of the track. And last time, a little adversity, and I don't see things heating up in here. You know, if Short Summer Dress goes, I don't see an Athwart go, but I don't see them going as fast as they did last time to really set it up for both Keeper of Time and Hit the Woe. So I'm kind of against that race a little bit. You like that race a lot more than I do.
Well, Keeper Time's going to be very far back. I'm big on Hit the Woe today.
Okay.
All right, that's race 3. First time on the turf today. Race 4. Got a pick 4 that starts here. Our new middle pick 4.
The mid pick 4, yep, love it.
Have you played it yet?
I have. Gave out a ticket opening day. It hit. I mean, I'm almost embarrassed to say it. I think after scratches it was $18. We got back 33. But you know what they say? Better a short price than a long face, my friend. I believe Bernard Baruch said that, right? Never went broke turning a profit. Around here, get whatever you can get. Take what you're getting like.
Continually getting your head kicked in and losing, too. It's amazing how much just a little win gets a little momentum going.
Sound like me. That sounds like that comes from experience, my friend.
Oh, absolutely. We've all been there. Race 4, 6 furlongs, $14,000 condition claiming race in this spot here. Fillies, mares 3 and up. I didn't love anybody in here. I think Cinderella's Claus, though, is controlling speed, has the rail, has to take advantage of it from there, and no one more adept at taking advantage of that kind of scenario, no matter what kind of scenario it is, being blown speed or being able to save ground, than Trevor McCarthy. And has a couple of races, even though they were at Finger Lakes, one of them in particular that we're going to show you 3 starts back, that buries this field, but hasn't really reproduced that race, hasn't really run it before that either.
I'd like to bet that she never does again.
Still, she doesn't have to win. She doesn't have to run that race to win today.
She does not. She does not. But I'm going to tell you what. A lot of successful claiming trainers have said when horses like this are going good and they find their way to the bench, it's never a good sign. She's going to be a short price today. She's going to be a short price based on one fig that does not make any sense.
No, that's not the only reason she's the favorite. She's alone in front here.
Well,
and she's dropping a class.
But she's coming off a couple of not good efforts, in my opinion. Again, she was against much better 2 back, and forget about the turf, which they ran on again after she was 0 for 3. But it was the first time for the new barn. Her 2 best races by far on her card were in the slop and that race that lives completely on an island back in June. And you know, when you talk about these claiming horses, she missed 4. She's been gone 4.5. That race was 4.5 months ago. And now all of a sudden, after being protected the whole time and claimed for 40, she's in for the 14. It's not like they're out on her. They get out on her today if she wins and she gets claimed. They barely break even. I thought she was a horse that I was completely against today. She wins today, I lose. And she's a short price on the morning line. She wins, I lose. Now, I don't have a strong opinion in here. I'm guessing with Rudy off the layoff with Shane's Pretty Lady, who her last 2 races are absolutely, positively abysmal. But don't really think she wanted the mile. I know she has a win on a wet track, but I don't love her wet track races. I think she's a little bit better on the dry ground. She has races that can beat this field. They were a long time ago, but I think she found her friends in here, and I'm going to take a little shot with her. And then the other horse we both have second, who's the more logical, is Big Tony's Girl. She ran for this level last time for the first time. She got beat a pole by a ringer. When she ran for the 16-2 life, she was competitive. She makes the most sense. I do wonder how much money Shane's Pretty Lady takes first time Rudy. Second time Rudy, but first time Rudy after a big break. Big Tony's Girl might be the horse you're priced into playing.
At least, Big Tony's Girl, it's the nature of this condition. You're not going to see a lot of consistency. That's what it is. At least she shows up. She's been in the money in 13 of her 20 starts.
Yeah, no question about it. And if you can find some consistency in these beaten races. Now, we're not used to seeing the B here in New York. So this race is a little different. So if you look through the PPs, and the only one that qualifies for it is the 4 alarm clock.
It's just not fast enough.
But this race is for horses older horses who are eligible for the 3 life condition or for 3-year-old fillies. Now, so you'll notice that Alarm Clock's won 3 races. We're not used to this condition here.
Because she's a 3-year-old.
Because she's a 3-year-old, she could have won 12 times and be eligible for this condition. So
still, I think a lot of people look at that and go, oh, look, she sneaks into this condition. She's a 3-time winner. Those races are way too slow to contend in here.
They are, but I will say this. She got beat 10 lengths last time out in a race where it looks like she didn't do much running. And she probably didn't do much running, but she got beat by horses that they're not eligible for this race because it was a straight open 20, and she as a 3-year-old ran in a straight open $20,000 claimer last time.
Poorly.
But that was a tough race, and she's coming in for a barn that's won some races on the circuit, and for a bug rider and Maddie Rowland, who's won some races here at big prices as well. I'm not dismissing anybody in here. Does she need to get better? Absolutely. But I don't want anything to do with Cinderella's cause, and I do not trust Shane's Pretty Lady, even though I put her on top. I would be using Alarm Clock in here.
So you don't feel this kind of field, especially, I guess Game Theory's the only one who maybe on the outside can put some pressure on the one. But don't you feel if you can get the lead against a group that's soft?
I don't trust her.
You can kind of break their will a little bit.
I don't trust her, and I don't trust her enough that I would leave her out of that middle pick 5 today.
Nothing would shock me in that race coming up. I mean, there's no consistency in that race whatsoever. We break after 5?
After 5, yes.
All right, so 5th race starts the pick 6. Mile and a 16th. It is on the inner turf, and there's a Chad Brown sighting here. Control Function, huge class drop. One actually first time out on the turf at Aqueduct. 40 maiden claiming race. That was last November, and had to face the likes of Hale 2. A next out winner Transient last time out. There's a lot to like with Control Function.
Yeah.
And I thought the race was actually better than looks on paper. 6 beat 3rd. Actually, this horse was in contention until late.
And I think you need to take a long look at this. I took a little swing against this horse. I mean, but I just had a little bit of an opinion on One Track Mind, the number 2. She's obviously the horse to beat in here, Control Function. You don't necessarily worry too much about her being
This is the win, by the way, in the debut.
Yeah. You don't worry about the tag so much for the simple fact that she debuted for a tag. So it wasn't like, Chad Brown and Klarovich win races because they don't worry about what they paid for them. And they don't dictate where they debut based on the price tag. They dictate where they debut based on what they've shown Chad and the team in the morning.
Were you watching this stretch run, by the way? I picked it out a couple of nights ago, and I had to second guess. I didn't think she was going to get to win there.
Yeah.
But did I pick the wrong race? She actually kicked it in very, very late.
I remember Andy making fun of me for picking her, just saying it was the last race, and I got lazy and I didn't want to make any other pick, and it was not a great race. And I was just like, well, I mean, she's, if she can run a little bit, and she didn't run very much until the 16th pole, and she finally got there.
Yeah.
I mean, you see the long layoff. You see now another 3 months. She's going to be 3 to 5. One Track Mind, I love that Dave Donk left her in last time. Knocked the rust off from the April layoff. You don't love the fact that she missed so much time. Her lone turf race is not fast enough to the Control Function races. But I know one thing. She'll be in better position, I would imagine, than Control Function. And we'll see if Trevor can get her in the game early. She'll be 10, 15 to 1 in here. So I took a little bit of a shot with One Track Mind, but I'm very well aware that Control Function is the filly to beat in here.
And we both both throw in the 5 there. Strong Embrace a little bit off since early May. It's Mike Maker coming in from South Florida at Gulfstream, who won first time out as well, and DQ'd, should say, crossed the wire first. Came right back to win next time out, even though his race was taken off the turf. That was a synthetic at Gulfstream. This horse getting back on the grass, so I thought it's shown some ability. Eating up quite a bit of money, though.
That's a problem. She has 8 to 5, 3 to 2, 9 to 5 rather, 3 to 2. Yeah, you don't love seeing that 2 to 1, but she's certainly a player. And listen, if Control Function does not show up, you could probably make a case for 4 or 5 horses in here.
Which too, and even if she puts in that run, you saw how late it took her to kick into gear. This might be a tight one too.
So they're scrolling the scratches at the bottom of the screen. Why don't we break? When we come back, we'll give everybody the scratches. How does that sound?
Let's do it.
All right.
Quick break. We'll be back.
For almost 150 years, the Saratoga name has been synonymous with the finest quality, sustainably sourced spring water available anywhere. Saratoga carries on the rich tradition of its forefathers by crafting each stunning blue glass bottle with the same attention to detail and care that has been its hallmark for generations. Visit SaratogaSpringwater.com today or ask for us by name at your local market or restaurant. Saratoga Spring Water. Make every day exquisite.
We are back. Late pick 5. It begins in race 6.
How about we give them the scratches quick?
Sure.
Let me bang them out quick. All right, folks. Race number 3, scratch the 8 and 9. Race 3, 8 and 9. Race number 5, 10 through 16. Race 5, 10 through 16. Race number 6, which we're about to start the late pick 5, 1 and 5. Race 6, 1 and 5. Race number 7, 1A, 3, 8, 14. 1A, 3, 8, 14 in race number 7. Race 9, 2 and 5. Race 9, 2 and 5. And race number 10, 10 through 16. So in the finale, all the A's, 10 through 16.
All right, so late pick 5, race 6, New York bred maiden special weight. Excuse me. What'd you like about Vax? We both picked the 4.
Blinkers on. Source caught a wet track first time out. She had a couple of siblings that raced well on wet tracks. One horse won a Stallion Series race. I think that's part of the reason she took as much money as she did, 5-2, when all was said and done. She kind of broke, and then I don't think she liked the wet track. Just because her siblings did doesn't mean she has to. I don't think she liked the wet track. She gets a pair of blinkers. She gets a fast track today. She has the experience off of that wide trip in her debut, where she beat only one home. And I think she'll show some improvement this afternoon.
Yeah, look, she took a lot of money that first time out. Obviously, she has talent. And that first to that second start, you're going to see probably, with most horses, the biggest improvement of their career. So we're going to see that. I forgive that wet track effort. You get the equipment change. The dam was actually a 6-time winner and was stakes placed as well. So pedigree-wise, there's some ability there. I will say this. This concerns me with the scratches because I thought the 5 was the speed of the speed. With the 5 coming out, the 2 or the 3, whoever you think the speed's going to be. I mean, even the 8 has shown speed. If you can identify who the speed of the speed is potentially in this race, it changes things quite a bit with her out of here. I'll definitely say that.
Yeah, Highway Harmony showed speed on the turf.
Turf speed usually translates to dirt speed, so it may well be the 3.
Yeah, we'll see if Highway Harmony and Javier Castellano. Dan was 0 for 5. She debuted on the turf. She ran well. She took money up in Saratoga. She's by Motown out of a quality road mare. There's a lot of turf pedigree there. Is this her race?
It is.
Okay. And you're going to see she opens a daylight lead. I hate when they get run down like this, especially going to 5.5, but I'm not going to be too hard on her. Again, what would bother me is the fact that she is debuting on the grass and she's coming back on the dirt now today. So we'll see if she can run on the dirt. But I would imagine that if she can move her speed from turf to dirt, she will be in front of these horses today. She's just faster than what's left in here. I think there would have been a nice little. She was faster than Pretty Miss Keens, but Pretty Miss Keens did it on the dirt. So we'll see what happens now, where she looks like she's loose on the front end. I thought she had a little bit of a chance in here. Thought the bottom horse, Brittany is Free. Great name, by the way. Three Hail Marys. Nice little knock-around runner for very unstable. And John Morrison, she was a stakes winner on the circuit, New York bred. Source's gate works are substantially quicker than most of the moves from the pole. So I wonder if Jorge Vargas Jr., and when Dave Donk and Jorge Vargas Jr. team up the last couple of years, the short numbers, they win at 13%. There's a big price in there. There's a positive ROI. I would not be surprised if this horse comes out running from the outside draw. David made her short, too. She's 6-1 on the morning line. She'll come down even more now with the scratch of Pretty Miss Keens. So maybe there's something in a workout report. I don't know. I don't read them. Based on the work tab, it looks like this horse is pretty quick out of the gate. And we'll see if Jorge Vargas takes advantage of that and has her in the flow of the race on the outside.
All right, we agree, though. Vax, you will likely not be getting 8-1, especially with the scratch for 5.
I can't imagine that price is going to hold up.
All right, pick 4 begins outer turf 6 furlongs, race 7, maiden special weight coming up in this spot. The 7 for you, Galileo's Jewel, Dutrow, Eric Cancel by Kingman, who was a 4-time Grade 1 winner on the grass, the Dam multiple winner on the turf.
I have a little steam on this horse. I was told this horse can run a little bit. And not to pat myself too hard on the back, but the Anthony Dutrow information this year has been pretty good. And I heard this horse can run a little bit. So I put her on. Look, this is a wide open race. You can make it. When I go through, I do it the old school, just X's and O's for me. I left 8 of the fillies open after the scratches. There's 7 left. But I got a little push on this horse, so I decided to go with her. You see to work on the turf downstate, you have to be nominated for a stakes race. Up in Saratoga, anybody can work on the Oklahoma training turf course. And you see up in Saratoga, there's a steady diet, 3 consecutive turf works. And then 1 dirt work before she left, knowing she was not going to get back on the grass down here. And then another slew of works on the main track. So, to me, she looks poised for a good effort today. I got a little push that she can run a little bit. So, I'm going to stick with what's worked so far for me this year, and I put her on top.
All right, you got Sweet Lou's Aces, second. I have her on top. Let's take a look at her. Talk about one of the nastiest beats you will ever see. She is 28-1 in her debut. She hits the gate, legitimately. Gets hit pretty hard here coming out of the gate and starts eating up ground, running a huge effort. This is at Saratoga, September 1st at this huge price for Ray Handel first time out.
Yeah,
and
this is a legitimate
just
trip.
Gets nailed by Georgie's Spirit.
It's a legitimate trip. They thought so much of her that they ran her back in the matron. She actually took some money that day.
And she got slammed
and she
really
did not
hard
have
in the gate
a good
there.
start that day as well. Now, I'm going to tell you what, Greg. You start to worry about that a little bit because she does not – if you watch the break, she's not breaking slowly, but she doesn't get away from there as fleet-footed as some of her rivals, which is going to leave her susceptible to this because they're younger horses. They're not going to behave as well at the gate ordinarily as maybe an older horse, a more seasoned horse. She needs to get away from there. The outside draw – you would say would help her, but she's had outside draws in both of her starts already. She only has one horse to her outside today. It's a Wesley Ward first-time starter. I'm sure Ray Handel and the connections are hoping that this Wesley Ward firster can break out of there like a shot and not bother her too much, but you never know.
I'll say that Spun Special, the 5, another one that interests me. Dam was unraced, first time on the turf. Horse has shown good speed on dirt, and the second Dam actually was a multiple graded stakes winner on the grass, albeit routing, but showed ability on the turf. So Spun Special for 5, one I'm going to throw in.
I'm going to use the 4 Candle a little bit. Like I said, this is a wide open race. If the information on the Tony Dutrow horse does not turn out to be good information, this is a wide open affair. Candle cuts back. She ran against 2 fillies who were going to be shortish prices in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies turf today, and Be Your Best and Jera. Free Look was in there. She'll be a price as well in that race today. She cuts back from 2 mile and a 16th races at Saratoga to a 3/4 race today. I don't know if this is maybe one prep for Florida, one prep for an end of the season race here, but I'll give her a little bit of a look if she's any kind of price like that 6-1 in the morning line.
Jera, I believe, has a huge, huge chance.
Post kind of hurts her a little bit,
no
right?
No question.
Yeah.
Race 8. 1-turn mile, state bred, a other than. We agree. And know-it-all Audrey, the concern, she ran a good race. Figures-wise, I feel like she's just so much the best in here. But she is coming back in a week's time. Is that a concern?
Yeah, of course. The opening day of the Aqueduct meet, pick 6, starts in race number 5. I forgot to tell you that earlier. If you're looking for a lean, I think you found it. Now, she's done a lot of running, right? Since the middle of September, since September 16th. So 14 and 31 is 45, and 4 is 49. This will be her 4th start in 49 days. That's a lot. But you know what? She's handled this workload just fine so far. An almost 8-length win. She just got beat by a filly in Sweet Mystery who could be okay, and then she won pretty easily last time. She has that habit of drifting late, and now she comes back in a week, and here she is getting the job done. Are you worried? Yeah, you're a little worried, but I'll tell you what. I mean, except me Be a Stars race last time out where, and again, kind of one of those races that lives on an island, and she's coming back just with this filly. She finished right behind her. Here they are.
And it's not even as close, though, as the mile
no,
length and 3/4.
It's a geared down, right? I mean, she's done everything right since the claim, you know, since she dropped and Oscar Barrera III claimed her, she's been good. So
she shows up. She's been very good. She did all the work in that race, too, and still had plenty to fend off Be a Star. I guess the concern, New York Banker and Big Time Lady, those 2 to the outside, both can, and I don't know if the 7 can be a factor late, but they both can put some heat on her early.
But she's faster than those.
Front.
She doesn't have to, and she's just faster than those horses.
But
so
she's got to be forward.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no question about it. Yeah. I mean, that's her bread and butter now, being forward. I mean, Hector Diaz Jr., who's aboard, can do what he wants, really. You would imagine that inside the 2 speeds, though, he's probably going to be assertive and just put her on the front end. I mean, either of her last 2 races will beat these horses soundly. Her race 3 back makes her the favorite, based on that race alone. So, again, the workload hasn't gotten to her so far. We'll see if it does. If it does, I thought maybe Karamoka, my man Mitch Friedman. She didn't have the best start. 2 starts back, and then she ran against Sweet Mystery and Know-It-All. She was beating a pole by them last time out, but maybe she's the one that can wake up here.
You don't see these bunch this closely coming back in a week anytime on her line. As you said, maybe all this workload catches up to her, but, yeah, she seems to tower over that group. Feature on this Friday afternoon, grade 3, turn back the alarm, mile and an 1/8, 2 turns. 6 for you. A couple of big scratch. The 2's out. Coach, a huge scratch who I actually liked in this race. You're going with the win machine here. The 6-year-old mare, 12-time winner, and she moves to a new barn.
Yeah, you said it. I'm going with WW Fitzy in here. Scratches are a little interesting in here. I'm curious to see what Trevor McCarthy does with my top selection, WW Fitzy in here. First time for Mr. Morley. I would imagine she's the speed. She's faster than these horses. I would ride her like she's the speed. I would not try to play any games on the front end. I'd be 3 in front and make these horses run. Now, First to Act obviously has a nice little card. She's never missed the exacta in her 6 tries. She was second to Nest last time out. you can turn around and say somebody had to be second to Ness last time out. But the fact of the matter is, she did some running on the front end. They didn't go that fast, but she was still the one cutting it up front, dueling on the front end, and she was able to hold off the rest of them by a long way for second.
Yeah.
So, she had no answer for Ness, not surprisingly.
No one may have an answer for Ness tomorrow.
Correct. So, I wonder how soon Castellano goes after WW Fitzy. That could be the key to the racing here for the rest. I don't know
right
when
off
he makes.
her, right? She's going to be right on her hip.
Not if Kendrick rides WW Fitzy the way I would ride WW Fitzy.
Kendrick's on.
Trevor McCarthy, rather. I would make them all work. I would make Ready to Act. Now, David has Ready to Act 2-1. You have to figure after the scratches, she's going to be closer to even money than 2-1, right? She may even be prohibitive in here. I know Battle Bling comes in off 2 wins. This is not the Battle Bling we remember here on the circuit, getting beat by Bank Sting and Exotic West. She's gotten good down in the Mid-Atlantic. I really like WW Fitzy today. If you told me to give you one horse on this card today, she'd be the one. I like her a lot, especially after the scratches. Coach coming out of there, I think, is a big, big scratch.
Huge
for her
scratch.
today.
Yeah, it was my top pick. Instead, I go to First Act, and again, as you said, comes out of the Grade 2 Beldame, huge drop, much the best of anybody else in that race. In the race before that, it's the best race she ran in her career in defeat, when she got beat by Leader of the Band in the stakes race at Saratoga. It proved, one of the most demanding mile and ace anywhere is at Saratoga with that deep track.
Yep.
And she was right there. I think it's between her and the 6, it would seem.
Yeah, I scratched into 6-3 as well. I'm not as sold on First to Act as some others are. I know Andy, has talked about her, and I've tried to swing against her a few times. And
The Saratoga runner-up finish.
yeah, this is the Summer Colony. She gets beat by Leader of the Band.
En Vuitante behind her, who's has a pretty nice resume.
Yeah, that restricted
From
race
Peak.
for horses that had won stakes races this year, but En Vuitante's a multiple graded stakes winner. Sure, yeah.
All right, the finale on the card, mile and 16th, Inner Turf. New York Breds maiden special weight in the fog. Actually, the fog is lifted behind us already. So it looks like it's already turning into a gorgeous day. We both like 8s in here. Show me your heels. 5-2 morning line. She got slammed out of the gate in that debut, going 5.5 furlongs at Saratoga, and came with a big finish.
And again, enough dirt pedigree to let her run. They see her just shuffling back there. Enough. She was in Randy Hill's colors that day. The salmon. You see her. She has one horse beat going into the screen right now. Yeah, she came with a big run going to 5.5. She's going to stretch out now. I like the fact that Danny Gargan, her trainer, left her in last time. She had enough wet track pedigree, enough dirt pedigree, I should say, to run. She was a Munnings on a muddy track. She chased and tired. That's fine for me. Nice little prep. They paid a lot of money for her. A lot of money for her. So
the stretch out to the dam was a 6-time winner on the grass. It was a multiple winner routing too.
Yeah, no.
So that makes you think handling the extra ground, she's going to be okay.
Yeah, not worried about the stretch out for her. She's not. I'll tell you what. She's not going to be. David has her 5-2. She's not going to be 5-2.
Caribbean Breeze, huh? Second for you?
Yeah, this horse was interesting. Dam was 2 for 21. Both wins came on the turf, where she was 2 for 16. Horse took a little money first time out. I like Stonewall Star. Disruption came back to win. I thought she just completely needed her first race. I think it was just a complete gimme. Now she gets to what I think is going to be her preferred surface. She's going to be a square enough price, and I think we'll see. Brad Cox overall, 30% with his second-time maidens. So that's a jump, big jump. I think she's going to run well today.
I threw the Sweetness, I think, is one you want to have on there, too. This is the first-time starter, Jorge Abreu. Oscar Performance, automatically, if it's a turf race and Oscar Performance, I'd take a hard second look. Dam produced 2 multiple winners on the turf, including Shorty.
Yeah.
The second Dam was a stakes winner on the grass, so there is a lot of pedigree there for the turf. Sweetness going to take plenty of support. Definitely going to be on my ticket.
All right.
Good luck today.
You too. What about you? You asked me about my Breeders' Cup. You got one today for the Breeders' Cup that you're looking forward to?
I like Sharp as attack quite a bit in that juvenile turf sprint.
Okay.
15-1 morning line for
Wow.
Yeah.
Going to try and beat Wesley Ward. You're a brave man.
Yeah, Wesley's loaded in these turf sprints, isn't he? I even think I'm a huge, I was going to say caller 1, Golden Pal fan. I think it's the toughest competition for him in that turf sprint is 2 stablemates. Campanelle has a major shot to win that race. And I believe Johnny V on a horse who's 15-1 morning line, too, for Wesley. That maybe could
Arrest Me
upset.
Red?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. That's
But yeah,
tomorrow.
Sharp's Attack, 15-1 morning line.
I'll give you one little price today in the juvenile. Cave Rock looks tough, and we'll talk about the promo in a minute. Lost Ark, Nest's little brother. I don't know if he can. I don't think he can necessarily win, but I would not be surprised if he hit the try of the Super at a big price. He did not have the cleanest trip in that Breeders' Futurity.
Okay.
And Louis Saez is riding today. I would imagine Louis is going to be a little bit more aggressive with him than his past pilots have been. So, I mean, he's my long shot to get into the gimmicks today.
There's going to be some chaos at some point.
Yes.
We know that with all the talent assembled these next couple of days. Well, get signed up, started, play with Naira Bets, and put in all your Breeders' Cup plays. Promo code is CUP25. You get that $25 free play, plus you get that $200 deposit match sign-up bonus just for playing. And then we talked about all the great promotions. Log on to that main page and opt into everything, including this. Bet $200 each at Keeneland and Aqueduct today. You'll get $40 extra in your account when you opt in, win or lose.
Yeah, seriously. And like Greg said earlier, because we got a couple more promos coming your way, just go opt into everything right away. I think that's the simplest thing to do. Next promo is a good one. This is the Cave Rock promo we were talking about. You get up to $20, double your win payout. He's 4 to 5 morning line, Greg. I have to imagine he's closer to 1 to 2, 3 to 5, 1 to 2. When you have the chutzpah to lay horses under even money in Breeders' Cup lines and Triple Crown Grade 1s, what have you, he'll be closer to 1 to 2, I would imagine. You could double up. So head over to NairaBets.com to double your win payout on Cave Rock. And then tomorrow, you can do the same exact thing with Flightline.
All right, take advantage of it. Opt in, NairaBets.com. Good luck to everybody. Championship Friday and Saturday. Our pick 5 and our card opener of this Aqueduct meeting starting in just about 40 minutes or so. You'll see all the coverage beginning at 11:30 a.m. Eastern. FS2. We will see you then, and we'll have ongoing coverage looking at the Breeders' Cup races as well, so keep it with us.
One more cheap Naira Bets plug, cheap pop. 3 blogs up. One blog is the Must Bet Race of the Week, which is the Classic. We focused on the Classic. It's a real extensive look at the Breeders' Cup Classic. There's another blog up with some picks and plays. There's picks up for both cards Friday and Saturday, because we're going to do that 200 tomorrow as well at each track. So head over. The picks are up picks will be up. Full card for today and tomorrow, Aqueduct and Breeders' Cup at Keeneland. There are plays up for the Breeders' Cup. I think there's 2 races today. I did in 3 races tomorrow, select plays that I'm going to make. And like I said, all the picks are up. Just head over to NairaBets.com for all of your Breeders' Cup needs.
Good luck, everybody. Enjoy it. We'll see you at 11:30 on FS2.
Yeah, see you in a bit.
For almost 150 years, the Saratoga name has been synonymous with the finest quality, sustainably sourced spring water available anywhere. Saratoga carries on the rich tradition of its forefathers by crafting each stunning blue glass bottle with the same attention to detail and care that has been its hallmark for generations. Visit SaratogaSpringwater.com today or ask for us by name at your local market or restaurant. Saratoga Spring Water.